Hello, fellowship listeners. Adam Hawk here for my friends at Howie's Market, a proud sponsor of this very podcast. Howie's Market is a family-owned and operated specialty grocery store located in the San Gabriel Valley. Howie's Market offers the finest wine, spirits, craft beer, freshest produce, full-service deli, old school butchers offering a wide selection of the best meats. And they were voted, to no one's surprise, the best butcher by Los Angeles Magazine. They barbecue every weekend, rain or shine. They offer whole tri-tip sandwiches, half chickens, a variety of sausages, and the best all-beef hot dogs. I love this place. I love the owners. I love the staff. I love the aesthetics. And I love making time to get up to Howie's Market. Howie's Market is at 6580 North San Gabriel Boulevard in San Gabriel, California. If you are nowhere near the joint and you know you're not going to make it, do us a solid. Give them a follow on Instagram. Show them that their support on this podcast is working. We appreciate it, and we'll see you at Howie's. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Fellowship Podcast by Nation Golf. My name is Adam Hawk, and I am joined, as always, by Ryan Engle. This show is available on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube, and wherever else anyone else could possibly procure their audio. We've said it many times, you can listen to the Fellowship on any medium you want, but we only read comments left on our YouTube channel. And who says you can't teach an old dog new tricks? Because our audience is finally understanding the concept of leaving all of their feedback in one place for us, that place being YouTube. And we are loaded for bear today. So if you want to get your thoughts or questions read back on the show, leave your comments on YouTube. Here's something called a tease in the broadcasting business, folks. Stick around to hear us read the aforementioned YouTube comments because there's more than one that take exception with Ryan Engle's thoughts from President's Day last week.
Who could actually defend Jimmy Carter and Joe Biden? What could you possibly say other than shifting to attacks on me, which is probably what they were? Am I right?
We'll get there.
Yeah, because that's the only argument people like that have, is it goes straight to personal attacks because they know that their feelings were hurt. They exposed my side of the aisle.
Well, given how wired for stubbornness and how defensive Ryan Engle is, as evidenced right there, I can assure you
what?
This will be good. Ryan, let's get you involved in the podcast before you fall asleep. I love that right before we started taping this, you said, I might fall asleep. How was your weekend?
It was great. Thank you for asking. We're in that age where it's just birthday after birthday after birthday, kids' birthdays. But it's actually kind of fun because Palmer, she gets all excited and you go, and this one kid in her class, the parents rented guy dresses up as Spider-Man and comes and does this whole thing. It was pretty funny. It was at this park, and so that kind of soaked up a lot of time. We were supposed to go out to Cole and Natalie's house to celebrate their kid's birthday out in Wildemar, but...
Are you the type of guy that will just call people by their first name to other people that have no idea who you're talking about?
Yeah, our friends, whatever. Who cares?
Cole and Natalie.
Yeah, who cares, dude?
I don't know those people. Do you think...
do. You do know those people.
I might if you use a last name.
Okay, well, anyways, we were going to go to the Foleys for their kid's birthday, but they called in the morning, full flu, going through the house.
Let me stop you right there. Was there a massive sense of relief that washed over you when you hear that a weekend plan gets canceled, especially another kid's birthday party?
No, because we don't get to see them often. They have a really cool house. They have 3 kids, and all their birthdays are kind of close to the same time, so they did like a full joint thing. And they had like a foam pit. They have a pool out there. It's warmer out there because they're near the high desert. So she was looking forward to going, so she was heartbroken when we said we couldn't go. So that sucked. So we did an impromptu, just hang with the Dunlaps and everyone at the beach. It was awesome because it's sunny and warm. Water's not warm yet, but when it's off season like this, there's not a lot of people there, so it's kind of local time. Great day. And boy, I'm tired.
My weekend was good. It could have been great, but just good. and that's on me. For the second weekend in a row, I have ruined my family's Saturday. Last weekend, I dragged everyone down to the Genesis Invitational, and as we mentioned in great detail on the previous podcast, that was a whole lot of squeeze and not a whole lot of juice. In fact, it was such a heavy lift with such little reward that I sent a text message on my way out of the parking lot last Saturday advising you and your family to rip up your Sunday tickets and stay home, and you did. Quickly, while we're on the subject of watching golf at Torrey Pines, I do want to say that after we spent quite a bit of time laying out all the reasons why it's not great going to golf tournaments there, I received more than a handful of text messages from people who completely agreed with what we were saying.
Really? I
Yes.
thought that you'd get kind of dragged over the coals for that. People, especially if it's near their hometown, they feel the need to cape up for these places that are clearly exploiting their customers, but because they've been exploited, they invest somehow into having to stick up for it because they know they've been conned. There are certain San Diego guys that if you say anything bad about Torrey Pines, they're like, I sleep in my car to overpay for my tea time. Okay. Fuck, sorry you're upset. I just thought it sucked for watching a pro tournament. Pretty honest take. Your thoughts?
Beyond having people text me that they agreed with what we were saying,
I still can't believe that. People agreed with you.
it was nice to
Yeah.
hear. And then I went to work at the SCGA.
Oh, God. Did you get some pushback?
We had a plethora of tickets available to us at the SCGA. So quite a few employees went down to the Genesis at Torrey Pines last weekend.
Did they show you the blisters on their feet?
Every single person that went, who are far less of hot take artists than you and me, had the exact same take.
No way.
They wouldn't go back. It was a lot of walking, not a lot of seeing, and way too much of a lift for what they got out of it. Everyone said the same thing. Was it fun? Sure. Was it a good time? Yeah, an experience, but wouldn't do it again, and this tournament is much better at Riviera.
Now imagine that same not hot take artist who didn't enjoy walking around there with their free tickets. How do you learn how to love the place? Just go down there and play one time. Go pay $400 fucking dollars to lose your ball in the rough 5 yards off the fairway. This is fun. Hey, look, there's that turtle pond. Should we take a picture in front of it on the last hole? It's real memorable. Just don't touch it. It's real dirty. It is a turtle pond. I mean, the more you look at it, is it not a turtle pond, Adam?
There's a YouTube comment about that turtle pond coming up.
Right after this.
So I know we get branded as haters who swim upstream just for the sake of swimming upstream.
Do we?
Probably you do.
Oh. People don't like the truth. They just don't. They want to be just coddled into their own algorithms.
Dismount from that because you landed that plane perfectly. Coddled into their own algorithms was so well said and so metaphorical and so articulate that I am quite literally shell-shocked that those words came out of your mouth.
People think that they're all these smart, nuanced, my political thoughts are the best because my phone tells me so. Because I live in an echo chamber of everything that targets me to tell me what I want to fucking hear. It's like having a really bad art project and your friend's just too nice to you and just tells you, no, it's really good. You should pursue this art thing. No, you shouldn't. That art sucks.
Fucking thing sucks.
Hey, the world needs ditch diggers too, Adam.
Always nice to hear, though, that when we take a side that perhaps is a little controversial, that other people saw it that way too.
I'm shocked. I thought people were going to be pissed. People really hold Torrey Pines on this strange pedestal. It's cool. It's not that great, and that's okay.
All right, back to the present day. This Saturday, I got really selfish and decided to upgrade my mobile cellular telephone device. We all know the deal. Every couple of years, your wireless provider will let you know that you can come and trade in your old blower and get a new one. And I was due, quite frankly, overdue. In fact, my old rig could barely hold a battery charge for more than 3 hours, and the speakerphone was barely working. It was a phone on the fritz, and I'm on my phone a lot with these 2 gigs, and I'm in the car a lot, so I need a phone that works and can hold a charge. So I went to upgrade with my family. Here's the problem. What should take 20 minutes max takes hours. And this upgrade took half the day because the folks at the store couldn't figure out how to transfer all my data onto the new device. And then they sent me home to connect to my own Wi-Fi to complete the transfer because their Wi-Fi at the store was too slow because of all the other people in the store connected to their Wi-Fi trying to do data transfers.
I mean, that's when you know you're in the wrong spot.
That was their explanation.
That's when you should have known you were in the wrong spot.
So I went home, got on my own home Wi-Fi, and that didn't work. So I had to double back to the store. Now we're into dinner time because at this point, I don't have a working mobile cellular telephone device, and I need one. Not only does it function as my connection to the outside world, it functions as my primary connection to work, to nation, and if you really boil it down, it's also my alarm clock. So I need this thing to work.
I need this.
Inside joke there, folks. And a good one.
Yep, really good one.
And a really, really good one.
Really?
Luckily, I'm the only one that gets it.
No, there's another person. There's one more person.
Hopefully not.
Oh, she gets it.
So I go back to the store and spend another 90 minutes in there until finally the transfer was complete. And for what? A new phone that looks the exact same as the old one, that will eventually crap out like the old one, that has all the same 5,000 pictures on it that I never look at from the old one. What a waste of a day. And my wife told me that night that I ruined Saturday for the family.
Oh, you did?
And she was right.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I did ruin it. It was a selfish act. And you know what? Not only did I ruin Saturday, but I broke a commandment from God. If you all will pull out your stone tablets with me, commandment number 4, remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. I mean, it's right there, chiseled in stone, written by God. Remember the Sabbath and keep it holy. Saturday, for those that don't know, is the Sabbath. Many people think it's Sunday because that's the day when most people go to church, but it's not. People go to church on Sunday. Why, Ryan?
Why not?
Great answer. They go to church on Sunday because that was the day of the week that Jesus was resurrected. But the Sabbath is Saturday because that is the day when God rested after creating the universe. And if you've ever looked at a calendar and wondered, why does the week start on Sunday and end on Saturday? Now you know. Saturday is the last day of the week, biblically speaking.
And then Henry Ford came along, tried to commandeer that week, changed it all. What an idiot.
Saturday is the Sabbath, a day in which you are commanded to rest and reflect, to do as God did, and leave the world alone. And here I am 2 weeks in a row, dragging my family to golf tournaments and mobile cellular telephone stores on the Sabbath, a day that is to be remembered and kept holy. Shame on me. I have a gift for you. I know we're not quite on video yet, but I am holding up a book, a children's book entitled Broderick. It is a small children's book. There's a mouse on the cover, and it's entitled Broderick. I've never heard of this book. My friend Mike D said, "What is your address? I need to send you a book, and I want you to give it to Ryan."
Why?
According to Mike, this book, which he reads to his kids, reminds him of you.
And why would that be?
Because as you look through it, the mouse Broderick becomes a surfer.
Oh, is he shaping boards and shit?
Yes.
Oh, that's kind of cool.
Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of funny. This will be great. Palmer loves books like this. Thank you.
Yep, that's from Mike D.
That's a nice gift.
Pretty thoughtful.
Yeah, I really like that. It's really cool, too. It's kind of got some old school illustrations.
Yeah.
Yeah. Looks old.
I think it is.
That's cool.
There you go.
Hardback, too.
How about that?
Gotta love a hardback.
Yep.
Paperbacks. What are we, sitting in coach?
Today marks 1 week for me without Zen.
Wow.
1 week
How do you feel?
without Zen. I don't feel
anything anymore.
I don't feel great. I feel like I am missing a companion.
Don't they have like level 1, like the most mellow one?
Well, I had downgraded from 6 milligram to 3 milligram, and that's the lowest you can do.
3's the lowest.
Yes.
How is it?
It's tough.
Because your boy RFK Jr.'s ripping them.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, he was lodging him in when he was getting dragged over the coals by all the Congress.
Just ripping Zen.
He was like,
Yeah.
it was sick.
My wife texted me a picture of an SNL skit where they were making fun of modern day podcasters.
Like us?
Yes. And one of the guys who was in front of a microphone very similar to the microphones that we're in front of right now had in front of him an open can of Celsius and 2 Zen hockey pucks.
Adam Hawk, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah. I was like, wow, I've become a caricature that is mocked on SNL. That is not why I quit Zen. I quit Zen, or am trying to quit Zen, because I have become far too dependent on it. And beyond the fact that it has worked its way into the wiring of my brain, it is also depleting my bank account. Depending on where you go, Zen can range from $6 a puck to $10 a puck.
How is that possible? Shouldn't it all be the same price?
It should, but it's the free market, so gas stations can price things however they want.
That's pretty shifty.
You don't shop around for deals because you might find something cheaper in one place than other places. It's how America works. Zen doesn't say everyone must sell this for the same price. Zen says everyone can buy this from us for the same price, and then you decide how much you sell it for.
Yeah, and that's not how everything works, but that's how some shittier industries work. But you're partially wrong. But go off, big boy.
Oh my gosh. What I have noticed after successfully quitting vaping and quitting Zen now is that vaping and Zen are way more problematic than the analog smoking of cigarettes and chewing of tobacco. When you smoke a cigarette, for one, the cigarette lets you know when you're done. It burns from the end down to the filter. You put it out, and you're good for another hour or 2 or 3. You also had to have gone outside and gotten away from people and then returned inside around those people and been okay with how you smell around them. There are multiple barriers to being a cigarette smoker. When you vape, you're never done vaping. Have you ever seen someone vape? They just continually hit it all day.
Oh, yeah, and they're always sneaking it, too.
All day. Sneaking it, blowing it in their
all
shirt.
All day sneaking it.
Yeah, and they don't stop because they don't stop until the battery stops. There's no filter that you burn it down to. There's no needing to go outside and get away from people for 10 minutes. They're just ripping vapes all over the place.
It's a shame that you can't just get a cigarette that is high-quality tobacco with just nicotine added. 2 ingredients. How does that not exist? Why can't we get one of those? Why can't we? You know, you can't market that shit anymore. You'd have to go word of mouth. I'm glad you brought up cigarettes because I created a Marlboro account on their website because I'm going to be contacting them. I have an idea. And anyways, this idea brought me to their website, and the website is just basically hidden. There's all these warnings, all this bullshit. But when you finally get in, when you finally submit form, give them your login, create an account with them, and you get in. You see some of the best marketing you've ever seen in your life.
Oh, I bet.
Bro, hero shot of the welcome in. It's this cowboy dressed to the nines, sitting on a horse, one of the best Western outfits you've ever seen in your life. Behind him in the background is just this scene and this sunset, and he's just leaning over on the front of his saddle with just this dart just sticking out of his mouth, and you're just like, fuck, that guy looks cool.
Yeah, right.
And the image is they hired the best photographer in the world to take it. I kept going through more and more, and I'm just like, holy shit. There are some badass photos in that site once you can get into it.
Sure. Well, smoking cigarettes, in my opinion, is the coolest thing in the world. I love it. I love everything about it.
There's an elegance to it.
Yes.
Even if you're Harley guy with neck tats.
Yeah.
When you're smoking a cigarette, you just kind of look like, oh, you know what? I could talk to this guy. He seems nice enough. You know?
Sure.
It's like, we share this.
It's also just the most enjoyable pleasure of all time, smoking a cigarette.
Plus, this day and age, it's a true break.
Yes.
You watch someone doing it, and you're like, wow. You put the phone down.
Well, there was a time where before cell phones, if you were a cigarette smoker that went outside, you were just staring up into the sky.
Pondering life.
I started smoking when I was 15.
I can tell.
My smoke breaks consisted of either talking to the person next to me or staring up in the sky.
Yeah. It's actually pretty nice.
It is.
If you think about it.
Sure is.
Pretty nice.
Yep.
Plus, if you have leather seats, your car smells amazing. There's nothing like that nicotine-drenched, tobacco-infused leather seat.
Absolutely.
I would get in my grandma's Cadillac when I was a kid, and I'd just be like... Incredible.
Well, to bring it full circle, vaping made smoking too easy. Mm-hmm. It made it taste too good. It made it too accessible, and it never told you when it was over. Zyn did the same thing to chewing tobacco. You don't have to go into a tin of snuff, grab a pinch, jam it in your bottom lip, and start spitting into an empty Gatorade bottle. You just put a pouch in, and nobody knows. You can do it anywhere, anytime, and they synthesized it so well. You can have a Zyn in while eating and drinking.
Crazy.
You can have a Zyn in during work Zoom meetings. You can have a Zyn in during church. And by the way,
did you do that?
Confession time.
Oh, no.
This was my first church service in probably a year where I didn't have a Zyn in.
Wow.
Are you ready for me to punch my first class ticket to hell? I've taken communion with a Zyn in.
Wow. That's low. What about, could you put a Zyn up your butt? Get the same effect? Could you just probe yourself with a Zyn and get that nicotine going?
Why would you want to do that?
So you could take your communion and...
Oh my gosh. How about you just don't have a Zyn in while taking communion? I think it's far worse to have a Zyn up your keister during communion than in your mouth.
Your thoughts?
I'm at a loss. Anyway.
Right.
I have asked for forgiveness for having a Zyn in while taking communion.
And Jesus said, maybe.
He's never said maybe in his life, so it makes him great.
I'm sure he's thought about saying that to you.
We played golf at Indian Wells on Thursday.
Right.
That was great.
Right.
Had a good time out there.
Right. Shitty place, huh?
The worst.
When you're on the grounds there in the height of the season and the ryegrass is filled in, it's just perfect.
Yeah.
It's silly.
It must be said to all of the players at the Nation Desert Classic whom we love and who get to experience a wonderful golf course. There's a major difference between that golf course first weekend of May and that golf course right now.
Yeah, major difference.
They're both great, but the golf course right now, it's 5 levels above what anyone has experienced in May.
It's actually perfect. The playing conditions, the turf, the greens, all of it, the rough, the fairways. It's perfect.
You can hit a ball so badly and still peel a PGA Tour divot that goes flying 20 yards in front of your club face. It's an amazing place in the winter. And I was glad that we got to do that. We were out there with Judd Spicer. We played with the director of golf, Paul Cox. And after the round, we did what we always do, the Schwitz.
Welcome to the Schwitz.
Full-blown cold pool, warm pool, sauna, steam room, shower. Just an amazing experience. And it always reminds me of this. Those that say they don't like country clubs have never been.
I want to know what kind of water heater they have there, because that shower's hot.
I want to know who prefers going straight from the 18th hole to their car with their golf shoes on, covered in sweat in the clothes they just played in, rather than going into a locker room, wrapping a towel around you, hitting a cold pool, cold pool, sauna, steam room, shower, and says, nope, I prefer the Muni golf experience. Yeah. And by the way, nothing wrong with it. We love the Muni golf.
Of course.
We love it.
I live at the Muni.
Yes, so do I. But you can't say country clubs aren't the greatest thing in the world.
They are. That's why they exist.
On our way out to Indian Wells, we took a phone call from Anthony Bacardi, known affectionately as Tony Bacardi. We didn't talk about it on last week's podcast, and I still don't really want to talk about it because it's so convoluted. I don't know enough to have an intelligent conversation, but Tony Bacardi was out at the Waste Management Open a couple of weeks ago. He played in a tournament run by an influencer. He won a closest to the pin contest in which he was supposed to receive $5,000 from the sponsor of the tournament. He was told in a roundabout way that he wasn't a big enough influencer and didn't have enough followers on Instagram to warrant receiving the prize.
Those words were literally submitted to him in text.
And you saw the texts and you went on
And I went, all right, fuck these guys. This wasn't a fuck these guys as far as those guys specifically. Yes, they were grouped into the fuck these guys that I did. But this is the golf industry social media circle jerk of influencers that we have. These guys and the industry feeds it to them and us relentlessly for years now. This whole grow the game thing, which we go up against all the time and people don't understand. They just think we're haters, but they're not nuanced enough to understand our take against that hollow phrase or tagline, so to speak. All these people scream, grow the game from the mountaintops and inclusivity, and they are part of the most exclusive club in all of it. If you don't play along with their groupthink and or have as many followers, or your agency isn't scratching the back of their agency who runs their accounts and what have you, they act like you don't exist. And they do all these tournaments together where it's influencers only, or now they want to be called creators because influencers so cringe. And so now they're content creators. And all these people are the biggest gatekeepers on earth. They pick and choose who to engage with because it has to help what their thing is. And it's just a big circle jerk of bullshit. And they finally got exposed. They get all this money to invite all these guys, and this guy wins the prize, and he doesn't have enough followers to get the cash. So it was like, you know what? Fuck those guys. Drag them over the coals. Expose them. By the way, that dude and all of his quote-unquote buddies that he only engages with, they started an influencers-only golf league. So now they have these tournament stops where it's just them. Wow.
Pretty inclusive.
Yeah, grow the game. It's like you're growing your fame.
Wow. Couple of really solid lines from you today. A couple of really bad ones, but a couple of really
bad
solid ones.
Circle jerk? I know you don't like circle jerk.
It's not that I don't like it.
Oh, so you like a good circle jerk?
Oh, my gosh. All right. I also love that I prefaced this topic and segment with, we're not going to talk about it, and then you did 5 minutes on it.
Well, dude, it's so obvious, and I think people are waking up to it because me doing that day, I got hundreds of DMs. I didn't get one negative response. Didn't get one hater, didn't get one person sticking up for it. In fact, I got an influencer from the event with hundreds of thousands of followers pitching to me that, hey, let me talk to him and we can split the money with my follower. And I was like, did you just try to like commandeer this prize? You fucking narcissist.
All right. Speaking of commandeering the prize. So Anthony, and again, I'm not going to get too into this because I don't know what I can say and I don't know what's true and what's not. All I know is he called us on our way out to the desert on Thursday and said that he was going to have a conversation with the people providing the prize and was asking if we wanted to be involved in potentially dispersing the prize at the Nation Desert Classic. Is that fair to say?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. We'll keep you posted as that comes to fruition. Two things. One, I'm not going to involve myself in this at all. So I will say this to you and to Anthony because I know Anthony listens. You guys can figure this one out. You guys can figure out how to give away the money. You guys can figure out how to put this app on a bunch of people's phones out in the desert because that's going to be fun during the Derby to figure out how everyone's going to download and create handles and usernames so they can get $500. And then you guys can post the rules on our website and send all these people to the money provider.
Easy.
Great. That can be something that when you're 10 whiskeys deep, under 100-degree sun, you guys can figure out. That'll be a lot of fun. So that's that. The second thing is, as Anthony was describing to us his master plan to us in the car, he was on Bluetooth coming through your speakers. I was riding shotgun. You were driving. He was trying to finish a sentence, and I don't exactly remember what the sentence was, but he really lost his train of thought. And he said, this prize provider will give us the money and we just have to he couldn't find the conclusion to what he was trying to say. So I piped in and I hadn't said anything all conversation and I said, hey, Tony, is your right arm going numb? And he said, huh? What? Why? I said, well, that's one of the first signs of having a stroke. Nice big laugh from everybody in the car. Once we regained our composure, Tony said, that's a really up thing to say to someone who just had a stroke a couple of years ago.
Wow.
I had forgotten that our good friend Anthony had a stroke.
Well, he didn't forget. So good for him. It looks like he shook that one off. Good thing for us and for Anthony. He has thick skin. He can take a joke.
One of the best in the world at taking a joke.
Yeah, it was pretty funny.
The more I talk to that guy, the more I love him.
I still want to know what he's doing with an RV.
What do you mean?
Why would a guy like that have an RV?
Why would a guy like you, a seasoned podcast host, bring up a question for me that the audience isn't in on? You need to explain.
I don't need to explain anything. Now they know he has an RV.
Okay.
And I'm curious why he has one.
How did you come to know of this RV?
He's trying to sell it.
Okay. See how we're coloring in details here?
Let's move on.
Where did you see him trying to sell this RV?
On social media.
Okay. So Anthony's trying to sell an RV on social media. Yeah. You're curious, why does he have an RV?
Yeah.
Now, what kind of RV is it? Are we talking about?
It's like a big one.
Like a Winnebago?
No, like the big dogs. Like there's no hood.
It's like a bus.
Yeah. There's just a windshield. Flat windshield over the wheels. Curtains and fucking cabinets and shit. It's like a big one. Pretty sure there's a shitter in there. The whole 9 yards. And it's all fucking like 80s. Home Depot, fake oak cabinets and shit. You're just like, what are you doing with this thing?
This is why I am happy that I extracted these details from you.
Yeah.
Now the audience has a much clearer picture of what's happening.
And where the fuck does he keep it? I had more questions about why than what he was selling.
I want to thank a large portion of this audience who follows us on social media and saw what we did with Miller Lite on Thursday.
Yeah. That was exciting.
We had this video as part of a pitch to Miller Lite to be the title sponsor of our Nation Desert Classic tournament. If it sounds like I'm emotional right now and that my voice is cracking and I'm fighting back tears, it's because I am freezing right now. Are you freezing?
I
in
just
here?
got really cold too. I think the heater kicked off.
Oh my gosh, it's so cold.
It jumped 10 degrees down.
We had a video and a pitch deck for Miller Lite that we sent them late last year because we want them to be the title sponsor of the Nation Desert Classic badly. The brands are a match made in
We
heaven.
want them to be the title sponsor of our lives.
Correct. We already act like they are, and now we just want to make it official. And we tried this in 2024, but we were way too late and the tournament was coming up. And so we said, okay, let's get a head start on 2025. We sent material to them in late 2024 for this year. It went unresponded to, and that's fine. Miller Lite probably gets 100 to 200 to 300 pitches a day from companies like ours. And it was during the holidays, so their books were closed and their people were gone. And then our materials just collected digital dust, and we're getting pretty close to the Nation Desert Classic. It's coming up first Saturday in May, and we still want Miller Lite to be a part of it. And we don't even know if they've seen these materials. And so we decided, you know what? Let's shoot our shot. Let's drop the video that we made for them on social media because it's great content. Let's put it on Instagram, and let's just wear our heart on our sleeve, show our cards, and let's tell everyone to tag Miller Lite. Let's get their attention. And folks, you guys went so hard for us. I think there are 200 comments all tagging Miller Lite and beyond tagging Miller Lite, telling them why this is a no-brainer.
There's some pretty classic ones in there.
Absolutely. Highly recommend going to our Instagram, finding that post, and reading the comments because they're great. And then so many of you shared it and liked it. Definitely our most engaging post in a long time. And yes, we asked for that engagement, but you folks delivered on it. Miller Lite saw it. They DM'd us. We'll keep you posted on where this goes. And beyond that, they left a public comment inside of that post for everyone to see as well, which we're very excited about.
Some would say that the comment was, you'll love to see it.
Yeah, in an emoji form.
Yes.
So a moment of gratitude, thanking this audience for helping us potentially land Miller Lite, which would be awesome. The Nation Desert Classic is sold out, sells out every year. We're excited for the 128 people who are going to join us in the desert, and we are not excited for the dozens and dozens of members of our field who have Hotmail email addresses, Netscape's email addresses, Earthlink email addresses who will not receive any of our communications between now and then and will be texting us remedial questions that were answered way before they asked between now and the start of the tournament.
What time does it start? Hey, can my buddy come?
Okay, we have a lot of YouTube comments to get through. A lot. And they're good. And we appreciate people doing it. Thank you for going to YouTube and leaving your comments there. From Drew Ollinger 24. Ryan, great take on the Masters Sunday. My best buddies and I always plan a golf weekend over the Masters weekend. Playing golf with them is way more enjoyable than watching the best golf event. It is the definition of fellowship. Participating is way better than observing.
Yeah, and you can always watch it over. They do such a good job of coverage.
I vehemently disagree with you and Drew.
Yeah, because you suck at golf.
Watching the Masters, especially in real time, especially on a Sunday, is better than any round of golf you're ever going to play.
Not true.
To call yourself a golfer and a golf fan and to say, oh, I would rather head on down to Shore Cliffs and tee it up with my buddy.
It depends on where and who with. The take was you playing somewhere you love with your best friends is always better than watching golf.
Not Master Sunday.
Oh, my God.
9 to 5 golf, our friend Johnny Figueroa.
Johnny Golf Balls. Gotta love him.
And we do.
You do.
When we were saying that golf is too slow, even when edited down for the attention span of today's entertainment consumer, Johnny Golf Balls wrote, guys, there's a great golf content channel out there providing edited rounds cut to soothing but engaging instrumental beats, picturesque views of courses around the world, all presented in 5 minutes or less.
Johnny Golf Balls the videos he makes, he might be the most underrated guy in golf IG. It's like this raw, real capture, but he does it in such a non-invasive or egotistical, artistic way. He might be one of the best, quite simply.
And if you want to check out his content, our buddy Johnny Figueroa, his Instagram handle and YouTube channel, 9 to 5 Golf, and 9 is spelled out, 5 is numerical. Might want to look into changing that, John, so it's a little bit easier.
Sounded pretty easy to me.
Okay, you're not looking at it right now, are you? You don't have a screen in front of you?
I do not.
Okay, so go ahead and spell out Johnny's handle for me.
What are like?
You said it sounded easy. So I'll tell you one more time that 9 is spelled out and 5 is numerical.
Nine numeral 5 TOGOLF.
Okay, so you just said 9-5 to golf.
Save it for the air, big boy. Yeah, Johnny, you don't want to change that, bud. Just change it to Johnny Golf Balls. I'm sure that's not taken.
Nothing better than the look in your face when you said, sounds pretty easy to me.
I think I just had a stroke.
Yep. Jonathan Houck writes in that Ryan's singing of Frank Sinatra's My Way proves that the man has pipes.
That's for having a voice in the business. That's what we like to call it.
Oh, my gosh. Are you stroking out?
I think I am, dude. Too much U-band, bro. I'm fucking jittering over here. I'm fucking cold. It's all the wheels are. This is bad, dude. The soapbox is coming apart, dude.
I would echo the sentiments of Jonathan Houck. You do have quite a good voice. Do you sing often? Did you grow up singing?
What's funny is when we played music, because we were in a band when we were younger, I sang really bad. Now I feel like I can mimic sounds really good. I don't think I'm a good singer. I'm not like well trained or anything like that, but. We went out to the bar right now and there was karaoke. Pretty sure I could fucking bring the house down.
Jim Benton writes in, Hawk, you should have gone to Torrey Pines on Friday. I followed Davis Thompson and Joe Eder. The crowds were sparse. Davis Thompson's 3 straight birdies on 11, 12, and 13 were incredible. I will definitely go back on a weekday.
Wish I could say we'd see you there.
Benton, you're proving our point that going on a weekday is probably pretty fine because of the sparse crowds. Going on a weekend, horrible.
Right.
And good for you having Friday off to be able to ride your bike down to Torrey Pines. Some of us, JB, are living the work life and can't really get on our bicycle and pedal on down to a golf tournament on Friday. But we are glad you had a great time. We are glad that you were suited and booted in nation, following our guys around, giving them support. You clearly were their good luck charm. They had a really good day that day. Then I showed up on Saturday, and they had a really bad day.
Yikes.
Vintage Golf Wear, Jordan Borad writes in, the Turtle Pond on 18 at Torrey Pines is a bit more romantic when you call it Devlin's Billabong, the site of Bruce Devlin's 10 in 1975. Fun fact, Bruce Devlin is Steve Elkington's favorite golfer.
Still looks like a construction site ditch of water.
Yeah, standing water that they had to shut the job down for 2 weeks to drain.
Yeah.
Bernard, the Nard dog, writes in.
That's his handle?
No, but it should be.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
Is there a place where you can hear Ryan Engle bleeped out content?
What did I say last week that... Oh, I know what I said. I remember. That was a really good one, by the way.
Really?
We could start selling those on Patreon or something.
Yeah.
That'd get us canceled real quick.
It sure would.
The comment you're referring to last week, and I'll try to say it without it getting bleeped out.
You don't need to try to say it.
I could try.
You don't need to.
Can I try? I made a comment about Adam potentially... It was something along those lines, which is fucking hilarious. Are you going to bleep that out?
Oh, yeah.
Fuck. Really? It's not even that bad. It's fucking funny, dude.
Bernard also goes on to write, I think the last time I was at Shakey's Pizza Parlor was 2009, but I might have to check out the heart-shaped pizza in homage to Adam sometime. The heart-shaped pizza is available on Valentine's Day and Valentine's Day only, so you'll be waiting another 12 months for that. Highly recommend. It's a fun little kitschy thing they do.
I like it. I know everyone's probably like thinking I was being mean to you or something. I thought I like the Shakey's thing. I think it's hilarious.
I can tell when you're being genuine and facetious, and I absolutely got the genuine vibe from you when you said that the heart-shaped pizza was something that you liked.
Honestly, that is a cool touch. And I think Shakey's is a rad place.
You're a big fan of Shakey's Chicken.
Yeah. It's fun to make fun of you. And look, we have this cute back and forth. Like you and your wife will send me a selfie of you out in front of the Shakey's sign, like when you go. We love it. If we lived closer, we would go to Shakey's with you.
I believe it. And we would have a lot of fun, and your daughter would enjoy the arcade with our kids.
Totally.
And obviously, I play into it a bit, too, by going and taking the picture with my wife in front of the Shakey's sign and
it's
sending
hilarious.
it to you. Thank you. It's all in good fun, folks. But Shakey's, they should come on as a sponsor with the amount of run they get from us. Couple more here. Are you ready to show spiritual growth by not getting as defensive as you're going to want to get when I read these next two
I'm
comments?
not going to be defensive, but I'll be real.
Real defensive.
Yeah, well.
Here we go. Mr. 5719. This is after you called Jimmy Carter and Joe Biden the worst presidents of your lifetime, which I still think is one of the funniest takes ever, considering that Carter was not a president during your lifetime.
When did he get out of office? 81?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was born in 81.
Okay.
There you have it. That technically is my lifetime, you stupid idiot.
Stupid idiot.
My wife thinks you're making fun of her with how much you
No,
enunciate.
I am absolutely on the Mina train.
Well, let's rephrase that.
Okay. I'm on Team Mina. Team Mina, and we're being Mina to you.
Mina to me.
Yeah. You stupid idiot.
Stupid idiot.
Yes. And your enunciating is just an homage to her enunciating of the two words in that drop.
Yes.
Mr. 5719 writes in after you called Carter and Biden the worst presidents of your lifetime. Quote, pretty rich hearing Ryan Engle talking smack about Carter and Biden when he himself is living off a family trust fund that directly benefited from record stock market returns and corporate profits under Biden's administration. Let's take a step back and realize where his bread is buttered.
I wish I was a trust fund kid. And no one's trust fund grew the last 4 years. These guys, they get so butthurt when their side gets attacked, and they just go straight to attacking a person based on assumptions. Maybe, if you were right, you would have had some facts on why those two bozos were good, but I didn't hear anything in there. All I heard was, oh, you trust fund and you made money and just feeding you. Yeah.
I'll say this.
What a stupid comment.
When I read that comment yesterday, I started thinking to myself, holy cow, have I been lied to the last 6-7 years of knowing you? Have you been on a trust fund this entire time that you've never disclosed to me?
Let me interrupt you. If I was on a trust fund,
Yep.
there would be signs.
I don't see any signs that you're living off of a trust fund.
Quite the opposite.
I think you went shopping around for your van, which is a Ford Transit.
Mm-hmm.
You're not driving the Mercedes Sprinter.
I bought it used, and I went to a dealership in Pomona, and I paid them $20,000 cash, and I sat there for 8 hours because they wanted 26.
You live in a nice house, but a modest house.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to talk about your country club membership?
I don't care.
It's honorary.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people get confused that, oh, he's a member of a country
Look,
club. He must
just
be rich.
because I am better at living life
Here we
than
go.
some other people doesn't mean you need to be upset. Maybe you need to just take some fucking notes, pal. Trust fund. That's like when people resort to that, it's just like nothing screams I don't have an argument more than resorting to those types of name calling. It's just like the lowest hanging fruit. Trust fund.
If you had a trust fund. I think I would know about it because you probably would have infused some cash into
the business?
Yeah. I wish you had a trust fund that I didn't know about.
Yeah. Fun fact. Not rich, but I have a lot more fun than you.
Carl Keenan. Are you ready for this one?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
This is Mr. TDS.
Which is not a real thing.
No, it's a real thing.
It's been disproven. Carl
No,
Keenan.
it hasn't.
Yes, it has. Carl Keenan, 22, writes in, regarding Ryan's rating of the quality of presidents and their terms, read a book, Ryan. Imagine thinking anyone but the current, quote, president is the worst president of all time. Unreal, end quote. So for those of you trying to put together my horrible reading of that comment, Carl Keenan is saying that our current president, who he hesitates to even call a president, is the worst of all time. And if you don't think that way, you need to read a book.
First of all, this is this guy's fourth attempt. Every time he chimes in, it's something against Trump. No one's talking about Trump but you. You clearly are really fucking obsessed, and it's really fucking weird. Secondly, read a book? Let me tell you, what's his name again? Carl Keenan?
Yes.
Carl Keenan. I'll tell you what book I read. And I read it over the last 4 years. And I read it around April, every April over the last 4 years. And it's a book titled Form 8879. Do you know what that is? It's an individual tax return, Carl. And numbers don't lie. Men and women tend to lie, but numbers don't. And the book I read was my individual tax return. So say what you want about me personally, call me this, that, and the other. Didn't hear one argument why those two bozos were good. All I heard was, I don't like Trump, and I don't like you. Take a lap, pal. This is entertainment, bud. And you keep coming at me with all this Trump thing. You are obsessed, brother. You need to take a lap. It's okay. You don't like Trump. That's great. I bet you if I hung out with him, I wouldn't like him either. That's not what this is about, buddy. Jimmy Carter and Joe Biden, from an economic standpoint, were terrible presidents. Is Trump bad too? Maybe.
Maybe.
I wasn't talking about him. Grow up, dude.
In defense of Ryan and reading a book, I did pass him a children's book earlier in the episode, and I'm quite confident that with the help of his wife, he's going to be able to get through that.
I was told at a children's birthday party not too long ago because I was reading a book for a bunch of kids.
Oh, what a sight.
Yeah, I was told that I was very good at reading out loud. Those words were spoken to me by someone else's wife. So there's that, Adam.
Well, I've put cold copy in front of you to read before, and you've done an excellent job with it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Surprisingly good at reading.
Why is it surprising?
Carl, just so you know, I know that Ryan just took a bat to you, but
this guy just every now and then comes in with some bullshit like this. Just get over it, dude. It's all good, man.
I'm a fan of Carl.
Yeah. What was good about that comment?
I'll tell you everything that was good about that comment. Number one, he listened to the podcast. Number two, he took time to engage with the podcast. Number three, Carl has been a frequent viewer and participant in our live shows. Number four, he didn't name call. So he's just expressing his freedom of speech while being, in my mind, a pretty engaged listener. Carl, I know you can't see me right now, but I salute you.
Yeah. Thanks, comrade. From your fellow comrade, Adam Hawk. That'll get him chirping again. Oh, it's Trump. No one was talking about him, dude. Just you.
Final comment. Tennis Miller writes in, can we get a little State of the Nation update, pun intended? How things are going, what we can get stoked on seeing in the coming months, anything else you guys can update us on. This is such a great comment, and we appreciate it. Thank you for taking interest in us and the business. I will say we have so many exciting updates that are about to be announced and things that we are working on that we can't wait to tell the entire audience. So, Tennis, I read your comment out loud to let you know that in the coming weeks, perhaps as early as next week, we will announce some things to you. Some things that involve Indian Wells Country Club. Some things that involve taking our team from 3 people to 5 people. Some things that involve new product coming. Thank you to everyone for listening. Truly, truly appreciate it. We touch on a lot of things, don't we? We touch on Shakey's. We touch on the Sabbath. We touch on presidents and politics and golf.
Gaff.
And we're just happy that we have a listening audience that can handle the volatility and versatility of the conversation and know that we are just doing this in good fun for free entertainment. Thank you for being the best listening audience in the world. We encourage you to share this podcast with others. Let's grow this thing. And on that note, we will talk to you next Monday.